Man, it has truly been quite a year, honestly,
Yeah.
in 2020. I think this year, honestly, has been like ever since because we started developing in what 2017, right? At the beginning, 2017.
Yeah, 2017.
This has probably been, I think, the quickest year my life has had, and the quickest year our game development has had
Yeah.
since then. Wow.
Corona made
Um,
everything go really fast.
yeah, yeah. I remember like being in class back in like I remember being in class back in February and March, and then like everyone was you kind of like heard about it, right? That it was like, oh, there's been some sort of outbreak discovered in China, and then a week later everyone's like panicking, like, oh, this is actually going to be bad, and then schools closed like what, like I think 3 days later, like a week after for us.
Was it back in March, right?
Yeah, yeah, in the middle of March. Yeah, no, I remember. I remember like there was a professor of mine that was like he wanted to sanitize the keyboards like with like Purell and stuff. And then I just remember the last class like is shit gonna close? And then yeah, it shit closed pretty much. Wow. We had started drawing up the plans for this game in what
February, maybe?
yeah, like at the end of January, beginning of February. Like we had the game on paper pretty much. Like okay, it's gonna be this. It might have this and this and this, and then it also like I remember we kind of outlined the whole concept and like potential like additions for it,
Yeah.
right?
hmm
Yeah, I don't know. Did we think the game was gonna be early access back then? No, right? I don't think we. Not
Yeah,
initially.
I don't think we even thought about any of that yet.
Yeah, we weren't even
Just the
at that
game,
point.
game itself.
Yeah. Yeah. It even though it's been like a kind of shitty year for most people. The time indoors it gave us pretty much the opportunity to end up making Linklight. So I'm glad we were able to use this time productively.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard like a lot of like my friends and stuff and other people they've just been stuck inside the whole time, and it's like they have like nothing to do. Like, but I was lucky for us. Like we always had something to do every day. When we wake up.
Yeah. hmm
Yeah, I mean that definitely helped keep us sane. I would say, right? You know, but yeah, it's been a very quick year for us. I mean, just wow. I remember being I remember being at your house, drawing the game on paper, listing out the features and stuff. Like maybe possible level ideas and stuff. And
Yeah.
that's it. It's on Steam now. It's finally here. People
Yeah.
are buying it. Yeah, February. Yeah, the game has changed quite a lot. The game has changed quite a bit since then, but I think the core has always been the same, right?
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, like I like the whole concept of rotating and stuff. Yeah, that's always been there. I remember one of the other features we wanted to add was like a level rating system. Remember,
Oh, yeah, the rating.
like having like timed levels or even having like lowest amount of moves possible.
hmm
Yeah, that was all stuff I was like. I remember those are things I was thinking about towards the very beginning. But I mean, I just as the game kind of evolved and we got closer to launching, like it just seemed like it just that stuff really just wouldn't make the game as casual and relaxing as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
those
the
I
player shouldn't have to be timed.
yeah, I mean those ideas aren't off the table per se, but the game, it's definitely a more casual like. I wrote about this I think in the 1.1 update. I had wrote about there's like to make this game what it is. There's a very fine balance between making it relaxing and challenging. You have to maintain a
Mm.
really delicate balance of that to like kind of appease both people. Also, any puzzle game you play, you don't want it to be always super easy or always super hard. There's always that sort of delicate balance.
hmm
For us, it's especially true because it's literally just a puzzle game. It's not like you're immersed in like a whole new world. It's just it's basically it's like you pick it up and play it pretty much. So in
mm
those kind of cases, I think it's even more important to maintain that kind of balance. Um, but yeah, it has been a year. We launched November 19th. It's been a whole month since it's been literally an entire month since we launched. Almost, yeah. We're going on 2 months
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got the winter update out. That has probably been the most like. There were times when we were developing where like I felt like we had gotten so much done in like a single week or day. But I
Yeah.
think for this update, we really outpaced that. We got so much done in such like a short amount of time.
Yeah, so many new features we got in.
Yeah, we just like got them all right in. I mean, everything working pretty much. No, there's been no bug reports, so no major like bug reports so far.
Yeah.
I think I noticed one or like two things, but I'll probably have to patch those out. But thankfully, nothing major. No corrupted
Yeah.
save files or anything. We were really worried about that.
Yeah, we didn't want to like break the backwards compatibility of the save file as
Yeah.
we add new like components of saving.
Yeah, because now like we used to just save your progress on the main campaign, and then now there's dynamic in level saving. Like every level's different. You have to save that level. There's multiple campaigns now. There's just more. Yeah, that was a little frightening, but thankfully it looks like it's all working. So the Winter 2020 update, it's definitely been our largest addition to the game so far. I would say the biggest thing here we have is we also the game also got a bit of a retouch. We updated all the logos and the capsules and stuff. If you look at the main menu here, you can see there's like a nice green-blue gradient. I ended up
new
updating.
background.
Yeah, I updated all the capsules and stuff, like the logos to match it. I just think I just kind of like the color, honestly. I just think it's
Yeah,
nicer.
and then the executable icon.
Oh yeah. It's not a light bulb anymore. It's it's like a little power symbol. It's the little thing on the batteries, but with
Like
this.
a lightning bolt.
Yeah, with the same little symbol. Yeah, I ended up changing the gradient. I just think it looked a lot nicer. I mean, it just looks pretty beautiful, kind of serene in my opinion. So, all the logos and stuff got updated as well. But yeah, it has been quite a year. I mean, launch of the game, and we got the major update done in time too, before the year even ended. So I mean, it's just crazy the amount of progress I think we've made since February to now,
Mhm.
or I guess late January technically. Now. Yeah, 11 months of progress. Wow. We have a lot of plans for this year. This is probably going to be the biggest year for the game, I would say, right? Yeah, this is probably definitely going to be the biggest year for it. We're going to talk a little bit more about the update first because this update was pretty massive. I imagine people who are watching this, you've probably read the changelog, but we're just going to show off a little bit of the update. The main part of this update, probably the hardest thing, was getting the campaigns to work, I would say.
Yeah.
We spoke about this in the last devlog, but we had pretty much had what we'd call sequences or level sets of levels. I don't know why we called them sequences, to be honest. I think when you program stuff and you have to name a lot of different variables to remember what they are, your mind gets a little fucked up from that. So we really should have just called them campaigns in the beginning, right?
Yeah, everyone knows that kind of thing as a campaign.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, like everyone knows when you launch up a game. And any game that has single-player, multiplayer, there's the single-player campaign, then you've got multiplayer. Sometimes there's different campaigns. We should have just used that word, honestly. I don't know why that didn't come to me at the time. Sequence. Yeah, like welcome. This is not the winter. This is not the winter 2020 campaign. This is the winter 2020 sequence. Like, I mean, it has a little ring to it, but I mean, I don't think anyone would have known. People would have been like, "What the hell is a sequence?" Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it ended up being campaigns, which is for the better, I would say. So the hardest part of this update was definitely getting those to work because prior there was just the main campaign. So having to program for like the flexibility of allowing different campaigns to be swapped in and keeping track and updating everything. So everything basically updating information all around like the game's internals and stuff. The save file, of course, too.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff was probably the hardest thing to do for this update. But we managed to get it done, thankfully.
Yeah, and it's also all for preparation of workshop support whenever we get around to that, because it's going to use that campaign system.
Yeah. I'll probably talk about that more towards like the end for this year. But this update was also important because we added the new Winter 2020 campaign. If you look here, also the level selector got redone. I'll talk a little bit more about this in a second. But I wanted to add new levels to the game, but I can't just slap them on to the main campaign, right? That wouldn't really work.
Mm-hmm.
The main campaign is kind of special in a way because it's meant to be sort of like an introductory tutorial to everything. So you have to the main campaign is designed in a certain way to introduce you to the game. It's the main campaign. What I did for this expansion, I made basically holiday themed levels, so lots of little things like objects. I'm gonna go ahead and show you some of them here. So like for example, this is like a little light bulb. If you've ever seen like Christmas lights and stuff. You know, it was one thing we should have added. I just realized right now.
What?
We should have added a button for the to go to the level selector from the
Oh
game.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, we should have added that. Because now I'm gonna be going back to the video. I'm gonna be going back to the main menu. All right, maybe that'll be in the next update, guys. But you see here also, this is like a Christmas stocking. So I can't just slap these levels onto the main campaign. So I already knew prior to making this update that this change was gonna have to come eventually, and it's something we managed to get done. Having multiple campaigns just allows us to make a different, like, I guess sequence of levels. You know, like different sets, separated sets, basically.
Yeah.
This is also in preparation for workshop support too, because the game needs to be able to handle multiple campaigns and multiple different levels from different sections, basically. This will also easily allow us to expand any other expansions, or if ever decide to separate the base game, which I don't think will happen, but that's always a possibility too. Basically, just it allows us to have multiple campaigns for the future, whether it's workshop support or us doing another expansion. So this was a really big change we had to make, and it got done, thankfully. You can see here too, the level selector was entirely redone. At the right here, you can see the author of the campaign, which right now it's just us because there's no workshop support. The date added, and there's also a little description as well. You can see also this is the Winter 2020 expansion, so it's all, these are all campaigns have their little unique little identifier. Something else I was thinking about, I wanted to add sort of like campaign snapshots almost. Like maybe imagine for each campaign, you would see like little screenshots of the levels in the campaign, you know?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
That was something I wanted to add also, because I feel like that would just be really nice. You'd be able to get like a good look at it.
Like a thumbnail.
Yeah, like a thumbnail for each like set in a campaign. Maybe I'd add like the bottom down here. Maybe I don't know. I'd have to see. Also scrolling too. You can the main set here is now scrollable, which is a much needed change, I would say. Yeah. But yeah, that's been the biggest change. There's 15 of these levels, and they are quite big. Let me see what level 7 is. Oh, this is the stocking level I just showed off. Ever since we had, I think ever since we got the levels like working, like remember when we got the actual board of the game working back in, maybe that was May? Ever since we got that working, I remember you saying like we could make objects out of the light bulbs. Remember,
Yeah.
like that idea came to us. Like you can make little objects out of like the cables and the light bulbs and stuff.
It's like pixel art almost.
Yeah, literally, yeah. It's pretty much pixel art, and that's pretty much what this update was. It was making little things out of light bulbs, and the cool thing is because you can't really make them out of the external ones. So like if you're ever gonna make something out of light bulbs, it pretty much has to be internal.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing something with the cables. But having the light bulbs with different colors allows for like little different designs and stuff. I had ideas back then to like make little objects out of them, but they didn't really fit into the main campaign. So for the winter campaign, I knew I wanted to add more levels, for like for the players. And I was thinking, like, I could make little objects out of them, and that's what we ended up doing.
Mm-hmm.
I made a Christmas light. There's a stocking. I think I made like candles as well. Let me see what level 9 is. This is a hot beverage as well. This is like if you drink coffee, this is hot coffee. If you don't, it's like hot chocolate, or I guess this could even be tea, to be honest. I'm gonna have to add like a tea bag. So there's lots of there's like a little cute little designs for every level. I gotta say though, these levels, a long time to make. They are quite difficult because to make little designs, the levels gotta
be big. They have to be big so you can fit it all inside of it.
Exactly, yeah. And a lot of the objects I end up choosing are vertical. So for most people, unless you have like a really big monitor, you're gonna see a lot of stuff's gonna be scaled a bit because the level is just so big. I mean, there's so many objects. I think the largest level in here has like 1,000 objects internally. Now, when I make the design, a large center of those objects are not utilized always, So it's really not, like, you don't have 1,000 objects to work with. It's more like you have, like, a fraction of that, Yeah. Because the center is obviously dead because it's made up of the light bulbs. But regardless, they're still pretty big. It's given us a lot of, been able to test a lot of stuff, too, which has been nice. But, again, I spoke about this a bit earlier, that it's, I want to maintain a good balance between having the game be very casual and easy and fun, and also adding harder levels in. So so in adding different campaigns and stuff, I can also kind of tailor to both of those. So like this campaign, I would say, is a lot more. I don't want to say it is more difficult, I would say, to get the correct paths for some of the levels, but it's a lot larger, so it's going to take you more time. But I would say that a lot of the paths are somewhat obvious, depending on how skilled you get at the game.
Mm-hmm.
So allowing me to have like different campaigns and stuff has been good because I can tailor each one to be more harder or more separate without affecting the main game, which is that the main game is what most people are going to experience, you know. So I can kind of make each campaign a little harder. I can like kind of change the kind of difficulty because something I thought about too when I was making the game originally. A lot of there's a lot of different ways a level can be hard. You know, some people like if you can make a really large level, but the path could be kind of obvious. You know, like that's a different kind of difficulty than a small level with like a really complicated path with like one solution. You know, there's different kinds of difficulties. So it having different campaigns allows me to design the difficulty differently, which has been good. You know, so that's been just a really awesome thing I've been able to do with the new campaigns. I'm not sure when the next expansion is going to be, though. I don't know. Maybe Valentine's Day.
Yeah, bunch of heart level.
Maybe like a heart. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to see. Speaking of that too, so like I said before, a lot of these levels are really big. A good thing that we added, which was requested by someone in the community, is your progress now saves. So if you're on a level, this goes for any campaign. If you are on a level and you're trying to complete it, basically the level that you're up to that you haven't completed yet, that level will actually save your progress. Very important. Make sure you exit the game properly using the escape menu here. You know, just open the escape menu, exit the main menu, exit the desktop, because you got to make sure you exit the game properly so it doesn't have any chance of ruining your progress. You know, that's very important. And again, that only happens for the levels that you're actually up to. Levels you complete already will not save. That's something we thought about. Remember, we were discussing the saving functionality.
We're trying to figure out the best way.
Yeah, I mean, it would be possible for us to save every single level, even if you completed it, but I feel like that'd be kind of pointless because most people usually don't want to, like... I don't know, like, most levels you completed, most people usually don't want, like, to save. You know what I mean? Like, why save over something you've done? We can change that if people want, but that's just kind of what we thought would be the best way to do it. So the level you're up to in each campaign will save. So if you finish a campaign, you're not gonna have any level saving in that campaign anymore because there's no levels, no levels that aren't completed, basically, you know.
Yeah.
So that was also a pretty big addition to do, having to save the progress and also load the progress too, you know, as even when you close the game. But yeah, very important. Make sure you exit the game for that. We also added a reset level button. I'm going to show that off here too. This was something else that was requested because previously if you wanted to reset the game, you'd have to go to the main menu and then you'd have to go to the level selector or you'd have to hit the resume button. Now if you want to, you can just hit this button and it will reset the level back to the default state, as you can see here. Something else I just thought of as we're making the video too, we should probably make a level selector button here, you know, from while you're in game. Yeah, so that's something else we'll have to add. I'm not sure what update that'll be. That's not a major thing too. It's more of like a quality of life thing. But I'll try to see maybe we can work that in somehow. But yeah, that's mostly it for this update. You can see the full change log is posted for it. But the campaign additions, the in-level saving, and the new level selector, definitely that's probably been the most major additions. There's a lot of little changes too, like updating some of the gradients and stuff. But those are pretty much the main changes for this update. It's been a lot of work to get them done, but we managed to get them done, thankfully. And people have been liking it so far. I've talked to about 2 people so far, and they seem to be enjoying the levels, so it's been making me pretty happy to hear. So this is a new year, obviously, so it's a fresh start for us, you know. Linklight has been doing pretty good so far. We've sold a bit over 100 copies now in about a month and a half. So thank you guys so much. I never thought in my entire life I would ever make something and anyone would want to buy it, let alone 100 people. So thank you guys so much for all the support so far. The game's been positively reviewed too, which means a lot to us. People seem to be enjoying it, so thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
for 2021, we have a lot of plans so far. I'm going to talk about this month, and then we're going to talk about a bit of the near future. So for this month, we want to start off the year kind of right. This month is also going to be a bit busier for me personally. Yeah, my name is Michael, by the way. We should introduce ourselves in the beginning. I think we forgot that. But yeah, my name is Michael, and this is Dan. We're the two. It's just two of us. We're the two main developers. Yeah, we kind of skipped over that in the beginning, didn't we?
Yeah.
So this year for me personally is going to be a bit busier. Well, not this year, but mostly this month. So for this month, we have a couple. This is the main thing we want to accomplish. Me personally, I'm going to be working on a hotfix this week because I noticed about 3 minor bugs. Nothing major. It's mostly with the UI. So I'm going to be working to fix those. So there's going to be another hotfix probably coming up this week. They're not major issues. They're very minor from what I've noticed so far. Thankfully, no major bugs, right? As of yet, at least. So that's good. So I'll be working on that. I'm going to be spending probably the entire month. I need to refactor and organize a lot of the code for the game. If you're not familiar with programming, refactoring is basically, I'm going to be going through basically all the code sections of the game and seeing what I can kind of optimize or make cleaner. If you're familiar with programming, you probably know what refactoring is, but that's pretty much what it is. It's going through code you've already written and kind of organizing things, so it's a lot more readable. Because whenever you go back to code, sometimes it can be kind of hard to tell what you've done. I know that's true in my case. Definitely true for your case, I'd say, right there. Yeah. So for this month, we're going to be taking the time to organize the game internally. That's going to be mostly my priority, besides the hotfix, of course. Reorganizing a lot of the game's code, just making sure everything's organized. So if I ever have to work with anything, any section of the game ever again, it's organized and I'm ready to just add on to it. Something else that came to light too, with especially the bigger levels, there has been a noticeable decrease in FPS performance. So we've spent if you notice, today's the 2nd as we're recording this. We spent the end of the year and the beginning of the month looking at the inefficiencies, and they're mostly coming from the engine, it seems, right?
Yeah. Like the particle creation, that's already been fixed.
The particle,
still a lot more to be done.
Yeah, object creation we ended up optimizing, which has been we've noticeably noticed. That's a nice phrase. We noticed that it's been improved, thankfully. It's basically just creating a lot of objects at once, so that's been improved. But what we notice now is I don't really want to demonstrate this because it's gonna lag the hell out of the recording, but some of these later levels here in Remembrance, they're quite big. We're talking about 1,000 objects on the screen at once. With objects rotating as well, particle effects also. We've noticed that there is a good chunk of FPS lag, and that is coming from the game. Oh, sorry, it's the result of the engine, yeah. What I meant is it's coming from the game, yeah. But it's coming from the engine, basically. It's not like, it's not your computers, it's basically just the engine being a bit inefficient. So Dan is going to be taking his time. He's going to be working on that. You said most of them were in the renderer, right?
Yeah, it's mainly the render, and that's causing the lag.
Yeah, initially we were thinking it was the input system, but we took some time to discover it. It's mostly a lot of the rendering. A lot of the rendering code was done quite a little while ago, right? So, you'll probably end up refactoring all that too and making it a bit more organized, right? And new and improved. This is the 2021 edition. Yeah, sorry. I feel like that engine's been rebuilt and added onto so many times. It's
like 2017.
Yeah, it's brand new at this point, pretty much. Every update, it's brand new. Yeah. So for this month, not this year. For this month, there's really not going to be any new content added. We're going to take the time to organize because if we do this now, it's going to save us a lot of headache down the road. By organizing everything now, any additions we make in the future will be a lot easier and more efficient. So we want to start the year off right because of that. So again, I will be taking the time to refactor and pretty much optimize some of the game's code and organize it. And Dan will be working on hopefully significant FPS improvements.
Yeah,
right?
Hopefully.
Yeah. So this entire month, basically, we're gonna expect to see better frame rates by the end of the month. Just more optimization in general. There's not going to be much on the surface to notice, honestly. So this is going to be sort of like a down month in a way, because we're just changing all internal stuff. So this will be a slower month. We just ask that you bear with us. In February we'll be talking about what else. We're going to see how this month went. We'll talk about what else is to come in February. For much later than this month, our plans kind of still remain the same. We do want to add dynamic level generation, like sort of like
the random.
Yeah, random daily puzzles is something I really want to get added. Probably after that there'll be workshop support. Obviously the main campaign is going to get finished too. That'll be for the game's full release. Those plans, I had those plans initially when we launched. Those long-term plans are the same, I would say. So that's what's going to be in store. I have no idea what the final release date's going to be though. Like, I was thinking, I think the game will be I think the game's full release will be this year probably, right? At some point.
Yeah, sometime this year.
That's what we think, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
We're really bad at estimating time. But that's what we have planned. So again, it's going to be a bit of a slow month, just for this month. In February again, we'll be back hopefully with some new and exciting stuff. But those are the plans. We hope you guys will bear with us. Thank you guys again so much for 100 copies sold. I mean, honestly, again, I never expected the game would do that well so quickly. So thank you guys so much. We're going to be working on improving the game and just making everything better. It's been we've been developing for a long time. It's nice to have finally something out and something to support while it's out here. So we ask you guys bear with us for this month, as we make all these internal changes. If you guys have any feedback, please leave it in the community hub. We're literally on every day checking to see if anything's going on with the game. So thank you guys again, and we'll probably be back in February with a new video. Expect to see probably an update from the next week or so. So thank you guys again, and we'll see you in the next video.